Hi, I'm Jennifer Berger, and I'm here today with Taylor E. Stevens. And today we're going to talk about the importance of pausing and making space. And I've heard you say three words that I kind of think of when I heard you say that: pray, presencing, and possibility. Can you paint that in a picture for us all together, Taylor?
Well, thank you for joining me. Thank you for having me today. So, if you'll notice what I just did, I paused, right? I think you mentioned pause, pray, presence, and possibility, which they seem to be just words. They're an actual dynamic. And I think if there's one thing that I focus on so much in my own personal life right now is this impulse to pause. We're in such a dynamic world of data and activity and noise and disruption and all of this going on out there. And it's so easy to get sucked into that energy. Um, Social media and even just the internet, we can get caught in the noise and the chaos, which in all of human history, it's never been as loud or as accessible. And so for me, I'm constantly seeking to participate in such a way that I feel like I'm beneficial, that I'm not just allowing myself to be part of the problem. So, in order to do that, there has to be a break in all of that chaos. And that for me is the pause. And I kind of giggle sometimes. I think, why weren't we designed with a pause button? Like by creation.
Good question.
Why don't we have a pause button? And I think, well, we may not have a pause button, but we do have the capacity to increasingly choose to pause. It's like pausing before we speak. We are, by nature, we're wired, we're reptilian. So the reptilian brain reacts. So we see something disturbing and boom, we go into reactivity because that's what reptiles do. And if we're really evolving beyond just reptilian reactivity, that gifts us with the ability to respond rather than react. However, until we learn to find a place in that wiring to stop before we react or pause before we react, we're just like almost like marionettes that are constantly being moved about by circumstance. We don't have that ability to to choose how we participate in this world of noise and chaos.
But we can train ourselves to.
Well, you have to train yourself. That's that's what I think pausing, taking a breath, coming down into your body. Because remember, the reptilian brain is here at the brainstem. So you got to come down out of the head and into the body. And for me, that's where you mentioned. So then you pray not in your head, but in your body. It's a resonance in the central nervous system. In order to attune to that resonance, you have to pause. You have to choose. And for me, that's coming into the heart center and beginning to attune and align with the universal vibration, which is higher than the chaos or the noise. So you got to tune into that.
So the pause invites the connection.
Invites the, yes, the choice. The choice
Okay.
to go to prayer rather than reaction. And prayer and presence are, for me, really synonymous. Presence is a non mental way of relating to what is. And it is presence that heals in the broadest sense. So when you pray and you come to presence via the pause, that opens you to a broader possibility.
That makes sense.
So you pause, whatever prayer may mean. It's not a religious activity, it's an alignment with the source of all that is. So it's like I feel this so much for me. I don't have one now, but I've had cats. I love cats. So praying is really purring. It's that vibrational alignment, and you begin to hum with the universe, right? And so when you pause, you give yourself that possibility, but you pray, you bring presence, you presence all of the chaos, you don't get lost in it. You don't react. And when you react to all the chaos, you're actually part of the chaos. You're identified with the chaos. So guess what? By the laws of consciousness, then there is more chaos because now your attention is in it.
Because you're feeding it.
You're feeding it.
Yeah.
As opposed to stop, pause, pause, pause. Come into the vibrational alignment that you can call prayer. You presence, that gives you a greater possibility.
So the power of pause is huge.
It's probably the greatest power there is. It gives you the ability to respond, responsibility. Gives you the ability to respond rather than react.
Huge difference.
Huge. Well, then you're in authority, the world is not. I choose my experience. Y'all do what you're going to do because you're going to do it anyway. I get to choose how I respond.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It is.
We're not going to get it 100% of the time. I'm just thinking of myself saying that.
Never. That's not the goal.
Yeah.
For me, it's not the goal.
But recognize.
You're wired that way. So until you flatline, you're going to go into reactivity because that's how the brain is wired. But pause as you practice more and more via neural plasticity, the brain gets rewired. So it happens less frequently and for shorter durations.
Because is that the grooves you've spoken?
It's almost like you respond to the reactivity. In the Talmud, the commentary on the Torah in Judaism, this, they say, is the little mark that was left. We were still malleable after creation, and so an angel took its little finger and went, shh. And that's what made this little mark.
I love that mark. Oh, that's wonderful.
And so it's like, so all this is happening. You want to go, ah! No, shh. Get into attunement. Pray. Presence. Greater possibility.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you for that. The power of pause. Very powerful.
Santa pause.
Exactly. Thank you, Taylor. Thank you all for joining us.